What's up, guys? It's your boy Mr. Clutch here as always with the Gamers Lab, and today is part 2 of our 3-part series on passing offense in Madden 2016. So in the first video I covered beating the man coverage. If you did not see that video, go back to our channel. You can watch that. It's kind of the building block. I introduced the series and tell you guys what I'm going to be talking about in general. But if you're more specifically just interested in beating zone coverage, specifically cover 2 and cover 3, then this is the video you're going to want to check out. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So a couple things I want to talk about before I show you guys some actual plays. Number 1, you need to know how to read the defense pre-snap. So if they're not base aligned, usually it's pretty easy to determine whether they're in a cover 2 shell, meaning 2 high safeties, or a cover 3 shell where you're having 3 people deep, 1 high safety, and then the 2 corners. Normally it'll be the free safety that drops, but on some plays specifically, the strong safety will drop into the deep blue. So you're going to want to pay attention pre-snap to how the safeties roll. The other thing you'll notice in a cover 2 shell, the safeties will be up closer to the line of scrimmage where they're looking like they might press the wide receivers, and both safeties will be back. And then against cover 3, normally unless it's a cover 3 press, you'll see the cornerbacks back along with 1 safety, and the other safety might be rolling up into the box. So that's usually how you can tell cover 2 versus cover 3. And then if all 4 of the cornerbacks are back, we'll cover this more in the next video, but if all 4 of the cornerbacks are back, then that's probably going to be cover 4 or some type of prevent defense, in which case you want to have a little bit of offense cooked up for that as well. So number 2, I'm going to show you guys plays, right? I'm going to show you how to run them. I'm going to show you some concepts to beat zones, but it does require a little bit of work in your guys' end if you really want to be effective at beating zones all year. It's not about 1 or 2 specific plays that I'm going to show you today. It's about knowing how the zones work and getting into practice mode and trying them out yourself. So I highly encourage you guys, once you see what I'm running here in practice mode, go into practice mode yourself, or go into some play now games, or if you want, just go into online games and start labbing and seeing how the zones work, and get the timing down, see when they drop, see what they react to based on what wide receivers are coming into their zones and what route concepts you put on the field. That is truly how you become a great Madden player. When you get to the point where you not only can take what somebody else is running and make it look good, but if you can construct your own offense based on what the defense is running on the fly, then you will become an elite Madden player. So that's my second point. And number 2, this is something that goes unmentioned and unnoticed very often, especially when I see tips and breakdowns and stuff, when people go over stuff on YouTube and ebooks, stuff like that. One thing you guys want to pay a lot of attention to, and it's more specific this year, I think, than any other year, is the hash mark. So some plays work and concepts work no matter what hash you're on, but a lot of plays are going to depend on if you're on the left hash, the right hash, or in the middle, aka the wide side of the field or the short side of the field. So if you're on the left hash, then the right side of the field would be the wide side. If you're on the right hash, you have more open field to the left, so the left side would be the wide side of your hash. So some of the plays you're going to want to run specifically to either the short side or the wide side of the field, which may require you to flip your play based on the formation that you're in and the concept you're trying to utilize. So that is huge, and that's another thing you guys might want to try to lab. When you lab something in practice mode, don't just lab it to the middle of the field on the 30-yard line. Move the ball around. Move it on the left hash, move it on the right hash, put yourself on your 50, put yourself in the goal line, put yourself in all different scenarios, because guess what? When you get into real games, you're not running every play from the 30-yard line in the middle of the field. You're going to be running it from all over the place. And in order to truly be effective and take your game plan to translate it to real games and to start winning, you're really going to want to do that kind of work. Now, I'm going to lay a lot of the groundwork down for you with the videos I'm doing today, and then the videos you'll see upcoming on the YouTube channel throughout the year. But without you taking those skills that I'm trying to give you and applying them yourself in practice mode and in real games, you're not really going to truly grasp the concept behind it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So there's, like I said in the first video, when you're playing versus man and you're playing versus zones, there's two different ways you beat each coverage. You beat man coverage with routes. So it doesn't matter what play you're running. Well, it does matter, but the route specifically is what beats man coverage. It's not the concept or the combination of routes that usually beat man coverage. So a slant beats man coverage. It don't matter what play or what formation you're in, for the most part. Now I understand there are a few exceptions. By and large, man is beaten by routes. By and large, zone is going to be beaten by concepts. What concepts are different route combos that are going to utilize different areas of the field with different wide receivers running into different spaces to take advantage of the weak points in that specific coverage. That's a concept. You'll see when you pick your play here, even specifically, it talks about concepts. And when you look at the pass plays, you'll see that different concepts are outlined to beat different coverages. It doesn't specifically say which concepts will beat those coverages, but that's up for us and up to you guys to figure out. So I'm going to go over a few of my favorites that I like specifically this year, and then, like I said, get into the lab, try them out, and leave some comments and let me know what you guys think. Now, the concepts are either going to be designed to flood a zone and make a defender choose which person they have to cover. So the first play I'm going to talk about is going to be a universal coverage beater, pretty much cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, and that's the screen. Pretty common knowledge. Most people know that a screen is going to beat a zone. I know that's not anything groundbreaking here, but what I want to go over it real quick is just run it a few times and show you guys how to really set up your block so you can maximize getting the most amount of yards possible when you do run the screens to beat the zone coverages. So here you can see they're in a cover 2. As you can see, the two safeties are high, the two corners are down, so that means that they're in a cover 2 shell. So I know that that cornerback is going to be the only person in that zone on the right side of the field. So we're going to snap the ball, and after you make the pass, what you want to do is wait on turbo until all of your blockers get set up. A lot of people catch the ball right away and they start holding turbo and they outrun their blockers and they get hit because there's nobody there. You're just running right into the defense. But if you wait on your blockers to get set up, then you can get past them and turn the ball up for big yards. So sticking with the cover 2 concept, we're going to show you off the top a great way to hit cover 2 deep for a touchdown pretty much every time. As long as you have a little bit of speed at one of your wide receivers or your tight end position, you'll be able to get a big gain. So the cover 2 has 2 flat zones, 3 hook zones, and 2 deep blues. So the strong point of cover 2 is going to be the middle of the field. You want to look to stay away from there unless you have to, unless you're using some type of clear out concept where you're going to hit them underneath. I like to attack cover 2 over the top because there's only 2 deep safeties that have to cover the entire back half of the field. So in a play like this, 4 verticals, which I know is an extremely popular play, but this is great for flooding the zones. You're sending 4 people all spread out across the field to be covered by 2 defenders. So the math just isn't going to add up. So the setup, all I'm going to do here is block my running back and then snap the ball. What I'm looking at is to make a read. One of these safeties, I'm going to guess the one on the right side of the screen, is going to have to pick one of these receivers to run with, and the other one should get wide open and be able to hit for a touchdown. Snap the ball, we drop back, it goes with the inside receiver, and we have Jordy Nelson streaking up the sideline for what should have been a touchdown. Oh, it is a touchdown. Let's go. So as you can see in the replay real quick, I'll zoom out here. The safety went to pick up the slot guy first, actually, because the cornerback got bumped our outside receiver, so he got off the line a little bit slower. So he streaked with him, leaving our outside receiver wide open to get a touchdown. Now, usually, that's going to be the case. The outside receiver is going to be the one that you want to hit. But sometimes, if the inside receiver gets bumped and doesn't get a free release, you'll get an animation where the safety will go over top and play the outside receiver, and you'll be able to hit Adams, in this case, on the inside for an easy touchdown up the middle. going to try something here where I motion Adams with a quick snap motion where he hopefully won't get bumped, and we're going to see what happens. So he ends up getting off the line faster again, and we get to hit Jordy Nelson again deep. In this play, I'm going to do I like to call it a motion snap. A motion snap to Jordy Nelson to see if I can get him to get off the line first, and maybe we'll get Adams up the middle free. Oh, he still gets bumped. Let's pass lead that outside. And now we got a rocket catch animation. So I just gave you guys a little free bonus tip there. Look at me. No, I didn't. That was complete accident. But hey, live labbing, that's what we do. So in this example, we're taking advantage of throwing to where the defense is weak. I want to show you guys another example where we're basically going to flood the zone with a levels concept, where the defense will have to either pick whether they want to drop back and cover a receiver over top, or come up and cover the receiver underneath. And all you have to do is make a read and pick which one you want to throw it to based on where the defense is not covering. So in this case, it's really easy. We'll use the same play. We'll use the 4 verticals, put the slot receiver R1 on a slant, and then we'll see which one of the receivers they cover. My guess is they're going to drop, because cover 2 normally drops over the middle of the field this year. And we have R1 open underneath. Let me show you another way to set up the 4 verticals to attack them in the middle of the field and get the tight end wide open. So as you can see, I sit the ball to the left hash. This is one of those things where I said it's extremely important. If you're going against cover 2, you want the strong side of your formation to be the wide side of the field. So the strong side of my formation is the right, as well as the right is the wide side of the field because I'm on the left hash. So in this instance, what I want to do is just streak my tight end, so I'll have 2 verticals going up the left and right sideline, and then put R1 on a slant. I'm going to motion snap him, and what you'll see is that the 2 safeties are going to cover the 2 outside receivers, and the tight end is going to get wide open up the middle. So there's a quick snap, I drop back, he floats to the middle. He was actually just in no man's land and didn't cover anybody, and you can beat either one of them up the middle. So I have some other ways to attack cover 2 as well that I'm going to show you guys real quick, that if you don't want to take the deep bomb every time and you want to try to be a little bit more methodical underneath. So as I said, the cover 2 has the 2 deep safeties, 2 flat zones on the outside, and 3 yellows in the middle. So we can flood the middle of the zone and hit the levels concept, like I spoke about earlier, or you can attack like that kind of purple zone in between the flat and the deep blue up the sideline. So I've showed you how to flood the middle and hit over the middle of the field. I've showed you how to beat them over top consistently, and now I'm going to show you how to beat the outsides, the 2 like purple zone areas of the field where you can get some big yards out there as well. So the concept that I'm using here is going to be a flat, the running backs on the flat, streak, because it's wide receivers on the outside streak, corner concept. So the flat streak corner concept. And what that's going to do is that's going to flood those zones. You're putting the safety in a bind because he has to cover the circle route deep, and you're putting R1, you're putting the cornerback in a bind because he has to cover R1 underneath. So what that's going to do is leave X to get wide open kind of in that like that cushy purple zone area, and you're going to be able to hit him for some good yards. So go ahead and snap the ball. As you can see, circle takes off deep, the flat drops. Now we have X kind of in that little cushy area in the purple zone. If they are running close to the sideline, I like to pass lead inside and throw a bullet. That way he throws it up the field and doesn't throw it out of bounds. That'll just allow you to get more yards after. Another way to attack that area of the field is using plays that have like a lot of stock deep ends. So this play specifically will have square on an end, and so not only can we attack the right side of the field in that pocket, but we can also attack the left side of the field in that pocket as well. So what I'm going to do is streak, circle, I'm going to streak triangle, and I'm going to put X on a drag. So this is actually a multi-replay. You'll have progression specifically. Streak on the left, Adams will drag the deep blue back, and the tight end coming across on the drag is going to pull the flat zone down so square can get open. Now this year, and last year too, but a lot this year, the flat zones drop until someone enters their zone and they say, oh holy crap, somebody's in my zone, let me go run down. So you can kind of take advantage of that sometimes by bringing a flat into the picture late and allowing him to have open space to turn the ball upfield. So what I'm going to show you here is that either the tight end or the wide receiver on the left might get open, and we'll be able to hit either one. And this also allows you to account for the user, because if they try to use the flat or the drag, across the field, then you can hit the in over top. And if they drop back like a lot of users do, then you can just hit them with the quick in coming underneath and turn it upfield by rack catching, holding square, and then you'll be able to get positive yards. Here we go, snap the ball. As you can see, they drop. I dive because I'm retarded and have no users. Let's try that again. So again, we're just streaking triangle, putting circle on a streak as well, and putting the tight end on a drag. Drop back, rack it, and turn upfield. So that's a quick read. You keep hitting that a couple times and it'll start dropping down. But like I said, the whole reason why I mentioned this play is you also will be able to attack the in that left side pocket once he cuts in field. So we'll wait for him to drop, and there you go, you hit in that pocket as well. As you can see, the safety was way cleared out with the streak. You had the tight end bringing down the coverage, and that allows you to hit square over top as soon as he cut in. So that's two setups from the same play to attack cover 2, as well as the 4 vertical setups and the 4 vertical setup from the trade open scheme, where you can either hit the outside receivers or hit the tight end going up the middle based on what setup you use. Now I'm going to cover 3. So cover 3 is usually the base defense that a lot of people come out in. I believe it's the most balanced, and it does the best job of protecting the deep field without giving up too much underneath in the middle. But because it's the best and most popular formation, that's also the formation that most people lab, including myself, on how to beat. A lot of the concepts that I'm using to beat cover 2 will also beat cover 3. For example, the concept of the play that I put, where I put square, where I put the tight end on a corner, streak the wide receiver, and put Eddie Lacy on the flat. This concept is going to beat cover 3 worse, if not the same, as it does cover 2. The same concept will apply on the left side of the field with hitting the ends. For the sake of time, I won't re-break those down, but get into the lab like I mentioned and try those out, and you'll see that they'll be destroying cover 3. Now there are 2 plays specifically that I'm going to show you in this video that, in addition to the stuff that beats cover 2, will also beat cover 3. They're out of the trips formation, and the 2 plays that I'm going to show you guys are the corner strike and the slot post. I specifically love using these 2 plays to beat cover 3 because how effective it is and how difficult the cover 3 shell has with defending these plays. So the first one will be the corner strike, and the setup is extremely easy. All you have to do is streak R1. You can block your running back if you want, just to give yourself some time, but what's going to happen is the wide receiver is going to go deep, pull the deep zones back, and the corner is going to come underneath and hit that same pocket that I was referring to in the cover 2 defense. You go ahead and snap the ball, they drop, and as you can see, that area of the field's wide open. I did this from the wide side, but you can also run it from the short side of the field, and it will be almost, if not better, more effective than running it from the wide side. Here we go, we snap the ball, he's going to drop, and then he gets wide open. The other play that I like to use is going to be the slot drive. The reason why I like this play is because it has a post that actually gets underneath the deep blues, and with a few route combinations you can get it wide open. So here we pick cover 3 sky. Now what you're going to do is use those clear out routes. So I'm going to put X, my tight end, on a streak, and I'm going to put R1, my slot wide receiver, on a hitch. What that's going to do is distract the hook zone that's playing on the right side of the field and the safeties that are playing over top. What'll happen is Randall Cobb should cut across the middle of the field, and he'll be wide open right around that 50-yard line, maybe a little bit before. So in this position, the safety, the linebacker actually dropped. That's because I'm on the right side of the hash. Like I said earlier, it all depends on your hash marks. When you're on the short side, they drop, and when you're on the far side, they're going to play up. So in that case, you just make the read. R1 ended up being the one that got open, and we can hit him underneath. We go ahead and slide it to the left side of the field, and you'll see this time that the defense is going to come up, and they're going to play Adams, and you'll be able to hit Cobb over top. As you can see, easy money. So those are my 2 favorite plays to attack cover 2, especially out of the trips formation. There's a ton of different other ideas, and I'm sure there's a ton of ways that you guys can beat cover 3. If you have any other options, leave them in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, and I can possibly do another YouTube video breakdown on them, and show pretty much the rest of the YouTube TGL crew on what you guys like. So to wrap this video up, I'm going to show you guys a little bonus tip. That's a beater deeper. That's what I like to call it, a beater deeper. That play that basically just confuses the zones in the deep blues and is going to get somebody wide open. And this will work against cover 2, cover 3, and cover 4. So you want the strong side of your field, of your formation, to be on the weak side of the field. So my trips need to be on the right hash. And the play is called PA wide receiver in. Now, this play was popular last year, and I believe we had it in our lab, but this year it still works just as effective. A lot of people look to hit that wheel route to get open, but it's inconsistent. It works sometimes, but that's not even the best route on the play. The best route here is going to be circles route, because the safety that's in the middle of the field is going to drop with the tight end, and the cornerback that's on the left is never going to drop deep enough because nobody entered through his zone. So you'll end up having circle over top on the left side of the field, getting wide open. It does require a little bit of time, but if your opponent if you've been dotting them up and they're trying to play pass coverage and not blitzing you, then you'll be able to take advantage of this play and get a touchdown. So we go ahead and snap the ball. I was getting screamed at, but as you can see, that side of the field got wide open. Let's try that one more time. Okay, let me try that one more time. All you do is streak your tight end, and in this case I'm going to let the play action happen just to see if it might suck down some of the defense a little bit more. The play action comes, I drop back, and there goes circle, wide open. Rack that mug, and it's a touchdown. GG, no read. So those are the tips that I got for you guys for today to beat cover 2 and cover 3. Stay tuned. Next video I'm going to talk about beating cover 4 as well as beating the blitz. If you guys like what you see, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check us out on Twitch under The Gamers Lab, and leave a comment and like the video if you want to show me a little bit of love. Other than that, thanks for checking me out. It's Mr. Clutch. I'm out.